Hello. This message is for Brian Stelter and Chris Licht. Chris, are you aware that segments like the following clip are pre-arranged, often with a script the host and guest agree to follow prior to recording? If you plan on building trust in CNN, a good place to start might be having the courage to ask a question you haven't pre-planned an answer for in advance. Brian, you have 48 hours to make a public statement on your show explaining the process you have been following with certain guests to intentionally mislead your audience. For that statement, should you agree to make it, doesn't need to mention which guests you have been doing this with. You are at fault for this, and you alone have the power to stop it. Should you decline to fall on your sword, we will publish communications that do it for you. What we publish will include your guests who have followed along. The way we see it, either you will admit it or your guests will not trust you enough to play along anymore. As the panic sets in, just know you are being presented with a decision. You may not know it now, but we are helping you find the relief you've been looking for. We hope you take the leap of faith yourself, but if you don't, we will pull the ground out from underneath you, and you will turn it one way or another.
Tell us about the language being used here, the choices being
Yeah, I think it's obviously intentional that they want to portray this as an assault on the president, or the former president. And I think that the rhetoric that is actually on the right, Brian, is not necessarily coming through in mainstream coverage.
Okay, hold on, let's unpack that for
Sure.
a minute. So you mean that when we're talking, the New York Times or CNN or ABC, when we are covering criticism from the right, we're doing what wrong?
But that's the problem. It's not criticism from the right. They're not criticizing the FBI. They're aiming to malign the FBI. They're assaulting the character of the FBI. And I don't think that the fervor on the right really has shined through in news coverage. It just feels like we're almost ignoring or just hoping that you can ignore some of the rhetoric from these MAGA media stars.
So you're saying it's much more extreme than we're making it out to be?
It's very extreme. It's extremist rhetoric. It's incendiary rhetoric, and it has consequences. And we're seeing, earlier this week there was that attack on the FBI field office.
In Cincinnati by an obsessed Truth Social user,
right,
addicted to Trump's social network.
Right.